Good morning. Welcome to Victorious Faith. I'm Cherry Campbell. We are talking about the law of the creative power of words. The law of the creative power of words. And we've talked about God created the heavens and the earth by words. And then we talked about God created man in his own image. And we talked yesterday about God giving man authority and dominion over the earth and the right to choose and speak words. There are other created beings that can speak, such as the angels. They can speak. However, they are not given the right to choose what they say. They are told what to say by God. The worshiping angels, worshiping around the throne, they are created to worship. And that's what they say, those words of worship. The messenger angels, such as Gabriel, we read about him a lot in the Bible. He came with messages from God, but he could not choose his own words. He did not sit down and have conversation at will with people. No, he came to deliver the words that God gave him to speak. So angels are not given the right and the freedom to choose words. Only man, mankind is the only created being that God gave the right to choose words. Choose his own words. Man is given free choice. And he's created below God to rule over the earth. And he's given the right to choose words and speak them at his own will. That's why you have said things that you know you shouldn't have said. You have spoken words you shouldn't have said. Maybe it was a curse word. Maybe it was a word of anger. But you knew you shouldn't say it, but you said it anyway. Why? Because you have the free will and you have the right to control your own tongue. God gives you that command, and we'll talk about that. It's actually one of the commandments that you are supposed to control what you say. But there are a lot of people that don't take control over what they say. They just let their mouth fly, their tongue loose, to say words they should never say. And then sometimes even we have regretted later words that we have spoken. But it is all proof and evidence that we have freedom of choice to say what we want to say and do what we want to do. And so we are created by God with this right to speak words. And then I read to you yesterday also Ephesians 5:1. Ephesians 5:1 says, "Be imitators of God as dearly beloved children." Be imitators of God. We are the children of God. We've already done many studies on this. We are the children of God. We are the sons of God. There are numerous scriptures throughout the New Testament. We are the sons of God. We are born of God. We are children of God. Well, as children, it says in Ephesians 5:1, be imitators of God. Now, if you have a child, how does a child imitate his mother or father? How does a little girl imitate her mother? How does a little boy imitate his father? By talking and saying what they say and by doing what they do. And so we are to do the same. That is what Ephesians 5:1 says. Be imitators of God as dearly beloved children. That means we're supposed to talk like him and act like him, do what he does. And we're supposed to practice it diligently every day. And so we are supposed to talk like God talks. So we see that God gave man the same creative power in his words that God has in his words. Man has the same creative power in his words that God has in his words. And then I was closing yesterday by talking about this and sharing with you, there really most people actually think that their words are of little importance. Their words have little importance, and that's why they are so careless with what they say. Most people are careless about what they say, and it's because they feel that it doesn't matter. It is of little importance and of little effect. However, the Bible teaches just the opposite. Our words have great importance and our words have great effect. And if you believed that your words were really important and had effect, then you would be much more careful about what you say. And so it is evidence that people don't believe their words are important because they are not careful about what they say. And that includes unbelievers as well as born-again Christians. But I want to show you again and pick up where we stopped yesterday. Why are your words so important? Why are your words so important? Jesus said in Matthew 12:34, Jesus said, "For out of the overflow or the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks." Out of the overflow or the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. That means what comes out your mouth is actually the abundance of what is in your heart. And I believe all Christians can admit that what's in your heart is of great importance. God judges the heart. Man looks on the outward appearance. Remember when Samuel went to anoint David as a boy to be king, that when he first saw David's older brothers, especially the oldest looked so strong and masculine and handsome that Samuel thought the oldest would be the one to be anointed. And God said to him, "No, he is not the one. I have rejected him." And God said, "Man looks at the outward appearance, but God looks at the heart." And I believe all Christians would admit the heart is of the highest importance. What's in your heart, the attitudes of your heart, are of very great importance. And that's one of the things that will be judged. But we also see by the words of Jesus, the teaching of Jesus, that your mouth will speak from the abundance of your heart. So what does that mean? Your mouth reveals what is in your heart. Your mouth is the disclosure of what's in your heart. And so we see that puts great importance on your words. Your words, because out of the abundance of your heart, your mouth will speak. And then I was showing you yesterday that words are important because words are containers. They actually contain and carry and deliver. They are the deliverers of what is in your heart. Your words are the deliverers of what is in your heart. And so whatever is in your heart will be carried and delivered to situations or people by your words. What's in your heart will be carried and delivered by your words. And therefore, whether your heart is full of faith or fear, it will be delivered by your words. Whether your heart is full of love or hate, it will be delivered by your words. Your words are the deliverers. And then I gave you this example that words are like bullet shells. The bullet shell is the case that carries the gunpowder. The gunpowder is in the case of the bullet shell. The gunpowder is the explosive power. Well, whatever is in your heart is the explosive power that your words are the bullet shells, the casing that carry that explosive power that is in your heart. Faith and fear are direct opposites. We talked about this already at length. We actually did a mini series in the series, The Law of Spiritual Authority, about fear. Fear is the opposite of faith. Fear works in the direct opposite direction as faith. Fear is as destructive as faith is positive to create things in the positive way. Fear will destruct and destroy things in the negative way. It is the opposite of faith, and therefore, and also doubt and fear are opposite of faith. So if your heart is full of faith, then your words are going to carry faith. But if your heart is full of fear or doubt, your words will carry the fear or the doubt. If your heart is full of love, your words will carry the love. If your heart is full of hate or anger or despising attitude, then your words will carry that hate or despising attitude. Your words carry what is in your heart. The gun barrel, if you think about a gun, the barrel of the gun is what aims the bullet shell. The barrel of the gun aims the bullet, and it aims it and directs it at a target. Your mouth aims your words. Your words coming out of your mouth aim your words. Your mouth aims your words. Your heart and mind, your intention, aim your words. So that is your speaking. When you speak, you are aiming and releasing words full of power at and into a situation or a thing or a person. A situation, a thing, or a person. And when your words hit the target, there will be a change, either for good or bad. Let me say that again. When your words hit the target, there will be a change, either good or bad. Your words will bring a change, either good or bad, into the situation, the thing, or the person. And so that's why your words are so important, because they are the carriers and the deliverers of whatever is in your heart. And therefore, this is number one, your words release and carry and deliver your faith or your fear and doubt, your love or your hate, etc. Number two, why are words important? Because the releasing and the speaking of words is also the method of exercising authority. The method of exercising authority. When you are a person in authority, now if you're in your home and you're a mother or a father, you have authority over your children. How do you exercise your authority? By speaking words, telling them to do something, such as go clean your room, do your homework, eat your vegetables, brush your teeth. You give words of instruction and command That is how authority is exercised. Remember, in Matthew chapter 8, starting in verse 5, Matthew 8:5, when Jesus had entered Capernaum, a centurion came to him asking for help. "Lord," he said, "my servant lies at home, paralyzed and in terrible suffering." Jesus said to him, "I will go and heal him." Verse 8, the centurion replied, "Lord, I do not deserve to have you come under my roof, but just say the word, and my servant will be healed. For I myself am a man under authority, with soldiers under me. I tell this one, 'Go,' and he goes, and that one, 'Come,' and he comes. I say to my servant, 'Do this,' and he does it." You see, the centurion understood authority and how it works. Authority is exercised by speaking words, especially words of command and instruction. Well, your words are also the exercising of your spiritual authority. And going back again to God created you in his own image and likeness to have dominion and to rule over the fish of the sea, the birds of the air, over all the livestock and the creeping things, over all the earth and the creeping things that creep on the earth. Genesis 1:26. And also Psalm 8, verses 6 through 8, over all the works of his hands. How do you exercise that authority? By speaking words. So you have to understand, it is not just when you feel like giving a command that you have authority. You have authority all the time. You have authority day and night. You have the authority 24 hours a day. So you see, you cannot just believe that you have authority when you choose to have authority, and then feel that the rest of the time your words have no power and it doesn't matter what you say. You can just blow your top. You can just lash out with the tongue, anything you want to say, because it doesn't make any difference at all anyway. Wrong. Your words carry power all the time, whether you are purposely wanting them to use and release power. For example, when you're praying, of course, when you're praying, you want your words to have power. When you pray for the sick, when you pray for yourself, your family member, when you're sick or when you have another need, you're praying and you're wanting your words to have power. You're wanting your words to have authority. You want to pray for yourself or your child or your spouse and pray for them to be healed in Jesus' name, and you want them to be healed. But then you cannot turn away from that prayer and go out on the street and start cussing out people out on the road, on the highway, and think that your words don't carry any power out there. You know, if your words would carry equal power all the time, people would be blowing out other people's tires on the highway. You'd have flat tires blowing out everywhere every time somebody loses their temper and says something in the car when they're driving against another driver. It would happen. There'd be blowouts all over the road. But thankfully, your words are actually the power and the dynamite effect of your words is turned down when you are careless and foolish with your words. And yet it's not only turned down just when you're careless and foolish, it's turned down 24 hours a day, so that when you pray, your words also have less power. Your words also will carry less effect when you pray, and when you're praying for your loved one to be healed. They'll have less power because the rest of the time you're being foolish with your words. Your words will carry power. But God cannot entrust you with a very great power if you are careless most of the time. If you're careless and foolish with your speaking most of the time, the dynamite power, the volume, you could say, of your words, of the power of your words, is turned down so that you have less effect also when you pray. Your prayers are less powerful. But you're the one who is determining that, not God. Because you're careless at other times, therefore, even in prayer, your words don't have much power. But if you will be diligent to be careful over your words all the time, and to realize and believe that your words have power all the time, and that when you're on the highway driving, you don't cuss out other drivers. When you get angry, you don't let lose your top and blow up and explode and spout words foolishly. If you will hold your tongue, bite your lip, and keep your mouth shut at those times, then when you open your mouth to pray, then your words will carry more power. You are the one that determines really how much power your words have. And if you are foolish most of the time, then your words will carry less power even when you pray. But if you are careful and diligent most of the time, and even try to make it 100% of the time, you watch over your mouth, and I'm going to show you lots of scriptures that talk about it. But you watch over your words, then when you go to pray, your words will be powerful and effective, and you will see results to your prayers that you have not seen before, simply because you have started practicing control, exercising control over your tongue, choosing what to say, and choosing what to release and not release, what you speak and what you don't speak, and you keep that control over your tongue. And so you see, you have to have faith in your words also. This is the second thing, is you've got to control your tongue all the time. And I'm going to take time with you tomorrow showing you scriptures about this. But you control your tongue all the time. But then you also have faith in the power of your words all the time. That means you have to have faith in your words when you're driving on the highway, when you're in the grocery line, when you're waiting for those slow people in front of you. You have to have faith in your words at that time so that you watch over your tongue and keep a hold on your tongue. And then knowing that when you pray, you also have faith in your words so that you believe that what you say and what you pray will be done as you have said it, as you have prayed it. It will be done according to your faith. So there has to be consistency. Listen to this. In consistency lies the power, or the power is in being consistent. Consistent all the time, around the clock, minute by minute, consistent with watching over your words. Not releasing words that should not be said. Being careful to only release words that are right and just and pure and good and full of faith. If you will do that, you will see the power in your words go way up. The dynamic power of your words will just shoot up as soon as you start watching over those and controlling those words. And you want and need that dynamic power when you are praying for your loved ones, for your children, for your family, for your health and healing and their healing, for your finances, for college tuition, for debt cancellation, for jobs and breakthroughs in your life. When you pray for yourself, for your family, for your loved ones, and for friends, you want and need that dynamic power to get results from your our prayers. And this is a major key to getting those results that you are looking for. Now, before we close, I want to remind you again about our online Discount Christian bookstore, part of this ministry, Victorious Faith Online Discount Christian Bookstore. Just go to our website at victoriousfaith.co, victorious like a champion, VICTORIOUS, faith, FAITH.co, CO like Colorado. And there is a tab called the Victorious Faith Bookstore. And when you click on the tab, it will open you up into a huge bookstore. We are actually connected to the Ingram International Book Distribution List. And so we have access to over 2,000 books, Bibles, and devotionals in our bookstore. There are Bibles in many translations, different colors and different covers, leather or hardcover. There are books by many of your favorite authors, such as Andrew Womack, Beth Moore, Billy Graham, Bill Johnson, Charles Capps, Dutch Sheets, Gloria Copeland, Kenneth Hagin, Joan Hunter, Joel Osteen, John and Lisa Bevere, John G. Lake, John Maxwell, and the list goes on and on. So check out our bookstore, especially as you're doing your Christmas shopping. Remember to buy books. This is another way you can support our ministry. Now join me tomorrow, and remember, God loves you. You're blessed and highly favored by the Lord.